Hi, John. How are you doing?
Hi David, I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing well. We're going to discuss unbalanced data today, something you have quite a lot of experience with.
Of course, as an AI practitioner or data practitioner, I have worked with a lot of data, and almost always they are unbalanced. And so I've had to decide what to do. And so, yes, I
I mean,
usually work with
it's sort of
unbalanced data.
unless you're in a sort of scientific context where you're ensuring that things are balanced, you're going to have
Yeah,
unbalanced data. It's
simulations.
natural. It's sort of all the data we work with in many ways is unbalanced. And so,
Yeah,
can you give us a
unless your
story about
data is
unless
yes,
it's designed.
unless you just design it to to be
Exactly.
balanced. Otherwise, in the real world, I mean, it's
I
always the case where you have unbalanced data.
Absolutely. And there's good reason
Yeah.
why statisticians are afraid of unbalanced data and why they value design so highly. But we'll come back to that later. Can you give us an instance where you've worked with unbalanced data?
Yeah, so there was a case where we had to build a model to determine whether or not an individual will, earn above or below a certain amount. And so we realized that with the historical data we had, majority of the people earned below that amount, and a few of them above. And so this is a very key example of such an a case of unbalanced data. And so we had to really decide what to do, and we finally decided to upsample,
Absolutely.
which is one of the tools.
I
So
love,
basically that was
upsampling, downsampling. I love the fact that these are essentially applying design thinking, design methodologies as part of a
yeah.
data analysis process. So you're sort of, this is a really powerful approach which can help to sort of address these issues in big data, which is unbalanced, but using design thinking as part of how you do the analysis. I mean, it's one of the ways that it's one of the many tools that exist, but it is a very powerful one. And I think one of the
Yes.
things that it brings about to me, and one of the things I love about this topic, is that statisticians are obsessed with design, rightly or wrongly. And often data scientists, just say, no, we can't design. We just get given the data. When the truth is somewhere in the middle. Well, even when you just get given the data, you can use design thinking to upscale, to upsample, to downsample, to do all sorts of other things if you need to. And so it really is sort of understanding the importance of understanding that there is this unbalanced element, and thinking, well, okay, do I need to deal with it to be able to sort of get valid answers as part of my analysis or
Yeah.
not? That's the key point.
And one key thing is that data scientists are mostly not the ones who do the data collection.
Of
And so
course.
the reason upsampling and downsampling and the other tools are really important is that you wouldn't have to go back to the collection of the data, but you can really work with what you have, you know, in ways that will now be more sensible. So
Absolutely.
yes,
You're not designing the data collection, but you are designing with respect to how you're going to do your analysis. And that's what's so
yes,
powerful, that the design thinking can still be brought in, even if you don't
yes,
have control to the collection process. I mean, there's certain things that you cannot achieve with that. If you don't have data on a subpopulation, if it's
yeah,
unbalanced to the extent where you have no data, you have no data. There's nothing you can do. But
yes.
when it's unbalanced data, you can do things. You can almost always use your design thinking, design knowledge to be able to sort of find ways to have these sort of more rigorous analyses and get around some of the limitations or the challenges of having,
Exactly.
this data where you have no control over the collection process. No, thank you for this.
Exactly.
This is it's a topic I like, and it's a nice one.
Welcome. I like it as well. Yeah.
Thanks. Cheers.